Hairston's career spanned an incredible range of accomplishments in music, theater, and film, making him one of the most versatile entertainers of his generation, who worked tirelessly to bring African-American spirituals and folk music to audiences around the world. He spent 15 years as assistant conductor of the famous Hall Johnson Choir, arranged and conducted music for major Hollywood films including Red River and She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and composed over 300 spirituals throughout his career. His most famous musical contribution was the song Amen, which he arranged for Sidney Poitier's 1963 film Lilies of the Field, and later became a hit for the Impressions, while his Christmas song Mary's Boy Child became a holiday standard. As an actor, he appeared in more than 20 films and numerous television shows, playing memorable roles in classics like To Kill a Mockingbird, In the Heat of the Night, and The Alamo, often portraying characters that reflected his dignity and intelligence. On January 18, 2000, Chester Hairston died peacefully of natural causes at his home in Los Angeles at the remarkable age of 98, having lived long enough to see his contributions to American culture fully recognized and celebrated. His death marked the end of an era for someone who had personally known and worked with entertainment legends spanning from the early days of Hollywood through the modern television age. Chester Hairston's extraordinary life and career serve as a testament to the power of preserving cultural heritage while breaking down barriers, showing how one person's dedication to their craft and their community can create a lasting impact that touches millions of lives across generations. Franklin Seals. Franklin Seals appeared as Lorenzo Hollingsworth during the first season of Amen from 1986 to 1987, playing a church member who brought both sophistication and complexity to the congregation at First Community Church. Though his time on the show was relatively brief, Seals made a strong impression with his polished acting style and natural ability to blend drama with comedy, qualities that had already made him a respected performer in both theater and television. His character Lorenzo represented the kind of educated, well-spoken church member who could challenge Deacon Fry intellectually while still respecting the church community. And Seals brought a level of theatrical training and professionalism to the role that elevated every scene he appeared in during that crucial first season when the show was establishing its identity. Born Franklin Vincent Ellison Seals on July 15, 1952, in Caliacua, on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, he was the fifth of 8 children in a family that moved to New York City in 1960 when he was just 8 years old. Originally planning to study art at the Pratt Institute, Seals discovered his calling for acting almost by accident when he accompanied a friend to an audition at the prestigious Juilliard School, where his natural talent caught the attention of John Houseman, the legendary actor and teacher who offered him a full 4-year scholarship. This opportunity made Seals the first and only known graduate of Juilliard to come from St. Vincent, and his classical training there would shape his approach to acting for the rest of his career, giving him the technical skills and artistic discipline that would make him stand out in every role he took on. Seals built an impressive career that showcased his versatility across theater, film, and television, earning recognition for his ability to bring depth and authenticity to both dramatic and comedic roles. His breakthrough film role came in 1979 when he portrayed real-life convicted cop killer Jimmy Lee Smith in The Onion Field, a performance that demonstrated his ability to handle complex, morally challenging characters with nuance and skill. He became widely known to television audiences through his regular role as Dexter Stuffins, the uptight business manager on the popular sitcom Silver Spoons from 1982 to 1987, where his precise comic timing and sophisticated delivery made him a fan favorite. Throughout his career, he also appeared in notable films like Star Trek: The Motion Picture and Southern Comfort, while maintaining his connection to the theater through his work with the Los Angeles Theater Works, where critics praised him as one of America's most compelling stage actors. During the production of Amen, Seals began experiencing symptoms later be identified as AIDS-related illness, particularly a persistent cough that made it increasingly difficult for him to work regularly. On May 14, 1990, at the tragically young age of 37, Franklin Seals died from complications of AIDS at his family's home in Brooklyn, becoming one of the many talented performers lost during the early years of the AIDS epidemic, when treatments were limited and the disease often proved fatal. Franklin Seals left behind a body of work that demonstrated the power of classical training combined with natural talent, showing how an actor could move seamlessly between different mediums, while always bringing intelligence and dignity to every performance, no matter how large or small the role. The beloved NBC sitcom Amen brought laughter and warmth to millions of viewers with its heartfelt portrayal of life at Philadelphia's First Community Church. However, behind the joyous choir songs and comedic church antics, a somber reality has unfolded over the decades. 5 talented actors who brought these cherished characters to life have since passed away, leaving fans to mourn not just fictional farewells, but real ones. Their legacies live on in reruns, but the stage lights have dimmed forever for these performers who once made Sunday nights brighter for families across America. Sherman Hemsley. Sherman Hemsley brought the unforgettable character of Deacon Ernest Fry to life on Amen from 1986 to 1991, creating one of television's most memorable church figures. As the scheming yet lovable deacon who constantly clashed with the young Reverend Gregory, Hemsley delivered performances that perfectly balanced comedy with heart, making viewers laugh while showing the very human side of faith and community. His portrayal of the stubborn, wheeler-dealer deacon, who always thought he knew best, became the driving force behind the show's success, proving that Hemsley could carry a series just as effectively as he had done years earlier with The Jeffersons. Born Sherman Alexander Hemsley on February 1, 1938 in South Philadelphia, he grew up in a working-class family where his mother worked in a lamp factory, and he never met his father until he was 14 years old. After dropping out of high school in the 10th grade, Hemsley joined the United States Air Force, where he served for 4 years before returning to Philadelphia to work for the Postal Service during the day while studying acting at night at the Academy of Dramatic Arts. His determination to pursue acting led him to New York City, where he continued working for the post office while performing in theater productions, eventually joining the Negro Ensemble Company and appearing in the Broadway musical Purlie. Hemsley's big break came when television producer Norman Lear spotted him in Purlie and cast him as George Jefferson on All in the Family in 1973, a role that would define his career when the character got his own spin-off show, The Jeffersons, in 1975. The sitcom ran for 11 successful seasons until 1985, making Hemsley a household name and earning him Golden Globe and Emmy nominations for his portrayal of the brash, successful dry cleaner who had finally moved on up to the East Side. When The Jeffersons ended, Hemsley seamlessly transitioned to Amen, where he essentially played a different version of the same type of character. A strong-willed, opinionated man who believed he was always right. On July 24, 2012, Sherman Hemsley was found dead at his home in El Paso, Texas, at the age of 74 from complications related to lung cancer. His death led to an unusual legal battle over his remains that delayed his burial for 4 months, as his business partner Flora Enchinton and a man claiming to be his half-brother fought over custody of his body and estate. Hemsley was finally laid to rest with military honors at Fort Bliss National Cemetery in November 2012, bringing closure to a controversy that would have likely frustrated the no-nonsense actor. Sherman Hemsley's legacy lives on through his iconic television characters who brought laughter and representation to millions of viewers, showing that African-American actors could carry successful sitcoms and create characters that transcended racial boundaries to become beloved by audiences of all backgrounds. Jester Hairston. Jester Hairston played Raleigh Forbes on Amen throughout the show's entire 5-season run from 1986 to 1991. bringing wisdom and warmth to the role of the church's elderly board member who often served as the voice of reason among the congregation. As one of the few characters who could stand up to Deacon Fry's schemes while maintaining his dignity and humor, Hairston's portrayal of Raleigh provided both comic relief and genuine heart to the series, representing the kind of church elder that many viewers recognized from their own religious communities. His natural chemistry with the cast and his ability to deliver both funny one-liners and touching moments made Raleigh Forbes an essential part of what made Amen feel like a real church family rather than just a television show. Born jester Joseph Hairston on July 9, 1901, in Bellows Creek, North Carolina, he came from a family where his grandparents had been slaves, and this heritage would deeply influence his life's work in preserving African American musical traditions. When his father was killed in a job-related accident while Jester was young, he was raised by his grandmother, who shared stories and songs about plantation life that inspired his lifelong mission to keep that musical history alive through his work. After moving to Pennsylvania with his family, Hairston initially planned to study landscape architecture at Massachusetts Agricultural College. But financial difficulties forced him to leave school until he met a woman who was so impressed with his singing that she offered to finance his education at Tufts University, where he graduated in 1929 as one of the first black students admitted to the school. Rosetta Lenoir. Rosetta Lenoir played Leola Henderson Forbes on Amen during seasons 2 and 3 from 1987 to 1989, bringing grace and gentle humor to the role of Raleigh Forbes' love interest and eventual wife. Her character provided a perfect romantic counterpart for the elderly church board member, and Lenoir's natural warmth and experienced acting skills made their courtship and marriage one of the show's most touching storylines. As an actress who had spent decades perfecting her craft on Broadway and in television, Lenoir brought a level of professionalism and depth to even the smallest scenes, making Leola feel like a real person rather than just a plot device, and her chemistry with Jester Hairston helped create some of the most genuinely sweet moments in the entire series. Born Rosetta Olive Burton on August 8, 1911, in Harlem, New York, she grew up in a family deeply connected to the arts and entertainment world, with her godfather being the legendary tap dancer Bill Bojangles Robinson, who helped her overcome childhood rickets by teaching her to dance. This early connection to show business shaped her life from the beginning, and when she suffered from the bone disease as a young girl, Robinson's dance lessons not only helped her physically, but also introduced her to the world of performance that would become her life's passion. Her first major break came in 1936, when she was cast as a witch in Orson Welles' famous all-black production of Macbeth for the Federal Theater Project, a role that launched her professional career and established her as a serious actress capable of handling both classical and contemporary material. Lenoir built a remarkable career that spanned theater, film, and television for more than 60 years, becoming a pioneering force for diversity and inclusion in American entertainment long before these concepts became mainstream concerns. She made her Broadway debut in 1939 in The Hot Mikado, alongside her godfather Bill Robinson, and went on to appear in numerous Broadway productions, including Anna Lucasta, A Streetcar Named Desire, and You Can't Take It With You, while also founding the Amaz Musical Theater in 1968, using her own savings to create an interracial theater company dedicated to non-traditional casting. Her television career included memorable roles on soap operas like Guiding Light and Another World, and she became beloved by later generations for her role as Nell Carter's contentious mother on Gimme a Break, and as the wise and loving Mother Winslow on Family Matters from 1989 to 1997. In recognition of her lifetime of work promoting racial equity in theater, she received the National Medal of Arts in 1999, and the Actors Equity Association created the Rosetta Lenoir Award in her honor to recognize theaters and producers who actively promote diversity in casting. On March 17, 2002, Rosetta Lenoir died at Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck, New Jersey, at the age of 90 from complications related to diabetes, passing away peacefully as a resident of the Lillian Booth Actors' Home, where she had been living in her final years. Her death marked the end of an era for someone who had witnessed and participated in nearly a century of changes in American entertainment and society. Rosetta Lenoir's legacy extends far beyond her individual performances to include her role as a trailblazer who opened doors for countless other actors and created institutions that continue to promote diversity and inclusion in theater, proving that an artist's greatest achievement can be the opportunities they create for others. Elsa Raven. Elsa Raven played Inga, the Swedish housekeeper for Deacon Fry, on Amen from 1988 to 1990, bringing her distinctive comedic timing and character acting skills to the role of the well-meaning but often confused domestic worker who tried her best to keep the deacon's household running smoothly. Her portrayal of Inga provided a different kind of humor to the show, with her thick accent and innocent misunderstandings of American customs creating gentle comedy that never felt mean-spirited or stereotypical, thanks to Raven's ability to find the humanity in even the smallest supporting roles. Though Inga appeared in only 17 episodes over 2 seasons, Raven made the character memorable enough that fans of the show still remember her fondly, demonstrating how a skilled character actress could make even a brief television appearance feel substantial and important to the overall story. Born Elsa Rabinowitz on September 21, 1929, in Charleston, South Carolina, she was the 4th child of Louis and Rosalie Rabinowitz, and she chose the stage name Raven when she moved to New York City to pursue her acting career in theater. Her early work included assisting the legendary producer Joseph Papp in bringing the Free Shakespeare Festival to Central Park, an experience that gave her valuable behind-the-scenes knowledge of how theater productions worked, while also allowing her to develop her skills as a performer in classical works. After gaining experience on the New York stage throughout the 1950s and 60s, Raven began transitioning to film and television work, making her movie debut in 1970 with The Honeymoon Killers, where she played a small but memorable role as a matron that showcased her ability to create vivid characters even in limited screen time. Raven built a successful career as one of Hollywood's most reliable character actresses, appearing in dozens of films and television shows where her distinctive appearance and natural comedic instincts made her perfect for roles as eccentric neighbors, helpful shopkeepers, and various other supporting characters that added color and authenticity to whatever story she was helping to tell. She became best known to movie audiences for her brief but unforgettable appearance in Back to the Future as the enthusiastic woman trying to save the clock tower, a role that lasted only a few minutes but became iconic thanks to her earnest delivery and the way her character's flyer provided a crucial plot point for the time travel story. Her other notable film appearances included playing the realtor in The Amityville Horror, John Malkovich's landlady in the Line of Fire, and Gertrude Stein in The Moderns, while her television work included regular roles on the crime drama Wise Guy as the mother of the main character and memorable guest appearances on popular shows like Seinfeld, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Days of Our Lives. On November 2, 2020, Elsa Raven died peacefully at her home in Los Angeles at the age of 91, with no specific cause of death announced, but her passing attributed to natural causes related to her advanced age. Her death came during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, which limited the kind of public memorial services that might normally have been held for such a beloved character actress who had touched so many lives through her work. Elsa Raven's career serves as a perfect example of how character actors form the backbone of the entertainment industry, bringing skill, professionalism, and genuine heart to roles that might seem small on paper, but become essential parts of the stories that audiences remember and love for decades.